Monty, owner of DBS or Advanced Equipment. But right now, I think we need to talk about country sanctions as it pertains to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall. A lot of you may not be aware of it, but if you are, we'll cover it anyway, just as a primer. United States is typically capable of imposing its way on other countries by way of what they call sanctions. In other words, if the United States doesn't like what Korea is doing, or what Iran is doing, or whoever, whatever country, Venezuela, you name it. If the United States doesn't like what a country is doing with its own economy, its own political systems, or whatever, it threatens and imposes sanctions. Sanctions typically mean that we're going to restrict access to something. Capital, it's been 30 or 40 years or something where we've imposed sanctions and embargoes on Cuba or whatever. And only to find out that, we haven't made as much progress. Cuba is managing to get resources and assistance from other countries. And typically that's what happens in a global economy. For instance, if one country imposes sanctions or cuts back on something like capital, then another country a lot of times is willing to come in and fill the vacuum, as is the case with China and Russia and Europe and some of these other countries. It all depends on what those other countries have to lose versus what they have to gain, and whether or not they agree with the sanctioning in the first place. But the reason why I'm viewing this, I want you guys to view this in the context of Bitcoin, is because with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, we're finding that it's very difficult to effectively impose sanctions. The way the United States did before. We can't impose sanctions the way we did it before. It's not as effective, and sanctions just might be going the way of the dinosaur or something. Mainly because now we have cryptocurrencies, now we have Bitcoin, and we have, believe it or not, we have countries that are using or implementing their own central bank issued digital currencies, CBDs or something, CBDCs, country central bank issued digital currencies. Okay, so as more and more countries issue their own digital currencies, or cryptocurrencies rather, what happens is those central bank issued cryptocurrencies are going to try to mimic, to whatever extent that they can, what Bitcoin does, while at the same time watering down the technology, because Bitcoin is decentralized, and no country wants to have a decentralized, peer-to-peer, censorship-resistant, borderless cryptocurrency. It runs counter to everything that they're trying to do. So while countries will want to have their own cryptocurrencies, they will not try and incorporate into it everything that Bitcoin represents and everything that Bitcoin is capable of. So to make a long story short, the sanctions as imposed by the United States and any other country, as a matter of fact, will be less impactful, because now you can send and receive monies in and out of countries without the United States' permission. Basically what it amounts to is when you have a cryptocurrency, you can get money in and out of countries relatively easily, and thus avoiding any threats by way of sanctions. In other words, if Russia wants to invest in your economy, if China wants to invest in your economy, if individuals and private parties want to invest and lend you money and get money in and out of the country, it's entirely possible now with cryptocurrencies because they're very difficult to trace, to block, and to stop. And it's very, very easy to get money out of the countries for the same reasons. So monies will be coming into countries, monies will be leaving countries just as easily as we transfer money back and forth. We Bitcoin enthusiasts, we can get money in and out of countries very easily and very quickly. So with this new technological breakthrough with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall, we live in a different world now. So the United States is going to have a very difficult time, bottom line, imposing sanctions on various countries, Venezuela, China, all sorts of countries are experimenting with cryptocurrencies as issued by their own country, issued by their own central banks. So that's going to be a major problem. So we just want to highlight that going forward because you guys are going to start to read about it, you're going to start to hear about it, and I want you to understand the implications, okay? First, the countries are going to start using cryptos, and then eventually the citizens are going to become more and more aware of the big daddy, the uncut crypto called Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin doesn't care about central banks, doesn't care about restrictions, doesn't care about all these things that the other governments, developed countries care about, okay? So that's going to be a major bonus for those of you and those of us in the crypto space as more and more people start to understand the implications. And this is primarily going to hit the developing countries first because they're the ones with the rapid inflation. They're the ones with the dictators. They're the ones with the monarchies. They're the ones with the insane inflation rates and everything. So that's where we're going to notice the difference first. And then developing countries, of course, in an attempt to not miss out, are going to want to be involved. Now, let's move on to technical analysis. There's a lot of people who actually put their money where their mouths are when it comes to making price predictions. And I know a lot of you guys are probably listening to these technical analysts in the Bitcoin space, and you're wondering, why are these guys so adamant about giving us all this dire news when it comes to where Bitcoin is going to go, how far it's going to fall, or how high it's going to go, whatever. And I can say this to you. Don't worry about the price so much right now. Right now, the major advantage with Bitcoin is the technology behind it is such that it can't be duplicated, okay? When it comes to the network effects offered by Bitcoin, when it comes to the peer-to-peer censorship resistant huge network that Bitcoin has, the other guys will not be able to duplicate that anytime soon. Now, just remember that, because as the price goes up, the price goes down, a lot of people are going to rush in and they're going to rush out, and they're going to forget the whole point of why this investment is a very, very good investment, regardless of the price at this point. You will be rewarded eventually with appreciation that we're going to get. But in the meantime, just like Warren Buffett told everyone, when you invest in a company, invest in them, because that company hopefully offers something very unique that's very difficult for other companies to duplicate anytime soon. And Bitcoin has a significant amount of nodes. Bitcoin has a significant amount of a significant head start. The network effect is a big deal, a big advantage for Bitcoin. The encryption, the security of it, the track record, those things are not going to be duplicated anytime soon. Okay, we had a head start. We're going to maintain that lead, and we're going to build on top of it. Put Lightning Network, SegWit already has 40%. Lightning nodes are coming online. More businesses are going to be using it. Other second level technologies are going to be built onto Bitcoin, and we will have applications that haven't even been thought of yet. The smart contracts are going to come to Bitcoin soon enough. Encryption will be a feature that you can turn on or turn off. And just remember also that the Lightning Network offers encryption by default because the way it's set up. So a lot of you who don't understand or don't appreciate what you're investing in, just remember it pays to have some money into Bitcoin. It pays to have that type of diversification. It pays to have what we call a correlation, a negative correlation in your portfolio. I just simply mean that when certain things are going up, other things are going to go down. So Bitcoin is going to have that negative correlation, so that when the stock market and the economy overall hopefully goes in one direction, our Bitcoin investments will not follow the same path. Now, there's going to be a lot of speculative assets that are going to jump in and out, and that won't give us the impression that we have the same type of negative correlation that we want. But at the same time, overall, when people are looking for safe havens, overall, when you want to protect some of your assets from seizure and taxation and everything else, because the taxation system is supposed to be voluntary, and if it's not voluntary, then it's basically enforced upon us, and we're being coerced, and we're being intimidated, and we're being threatened. That's not what you call a fair taxation system. So anything besides having voluntary taxes paid that we owe is called coercion, where you're being forced and intimidated and threatened. Okay? So make sure that you understand Bitcoin allows us to circumvent that. We have a choice in terms of what to pay, how much to pay, and all of that. So that's what Bitcoin is offering us. And you don't want to take that for granted, because never before in the history of mankind have we ever had an asset that allows us to take sole possession of it outside of the banking sector, outside of the financial sector. Okay? So make sure you guys appreciate the differences and you understand what the differences are. So again, when you're listening to these technical analysis like Tone Vays and certain people, remember, Tone Vays is a hodler. He's not a trader in the Bitcoin space. He doesn't have a portfolio or a Bitcoin position that he's trading that he's going to talk about on air anytime soon, whereby he tells us when he's shorting, tells us when he's going long. Okay? His trading analysis is just based upon YouTube videos. Okay? Anyone can just give you YouTube videos and not have actual skin in the game. Okay? I can do that, and I'm not even a trader. I can tell you that something may go up or something may go down, but who cares if I don't have skin in the game, okay? So that's what's important. So remember, when you listen to people like Tone Vays and any other trader, gravitate towards those who have something to lose, not those who are just looking for likes and followers and all of that other shit. All of that is bullshit. Okay, I have skin in the game. I'm a hodler. And I'm not going to tell you anything that doesn't reflect my conviction. See, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a conviction. If someone tells you Bitcoin is going to go down to 6,500, 5,500 or 1,300. That's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to actually have skin in the game. What is your portfolio worth? That's what you guys want to ask people like Tone Bates or any other trader. How much money do you have at stake? How much skin do you have in the game? Are you going to get hurt, or are you going to benefit when your price predictions come true or don't come true? You know what I mean? People nowadays, you have to be skeptical. Don't just fall for this crap where everybody is a technical analysis guru with absolutely no money invested in the trades that they're talking about. So make sure you ask those critical questions. When people are talking about the price is going to go to this level, that level, ask them. Okay, if it goes to 5,500, that means you shorted it, right? You shorted it, and you're going to benefit. If it goes to 1,300, obviously you're shorting, and you're going to benefit significantly when it goes to those levels. If they can't tell you that they have a position and they have money at stake and what they're going to approximately make or lose or something, then who gives a shit about their technical analysis, right? They're basically just talking, okay? So, again, there's a lot of talkers in this space, and then there's some people, like myself, we're hodling, and we don't give a shit about technical analysis, and we don't give a shit about charts and shit at this point, because we know that the technology itself is not going to be repeated or duplicated by the other players anytime soon. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't diversify your crypto portfolio just like you diversify any other portfolio. We recommend that you pick up some of the others just in case. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but it doesn't preclude me from using my brain and my common sense to get my money into some other areas as well, okay? So I do hold my Ethereums and Litecoins and NIMs and BitShares and some of the other things. I'm not stupid, okay? Rich people protect their wealth. We don't give a shit about taking sides so much as we care about preserving our wealth and growing our assets, okay? So remember that. It's one thing to try and play like you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you hate every other coin. But it's another thing to actually be wealthy and stay wealthy and not worry so much about putting all your eggs in one basket. No wealthy person does that. They all diversify. I don't care what they tell you. It's what they do. That's what's important. So anyway, we're going to wrap this session up because it's all about sanctions when it comes to getting countries to bend to your rules and your threats and stuff like that. And we also talked about technical analysis and who's putting up and who's just talking to talk instead of walking the walk. So anyway, we're going to let you guys go, and hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. All right? Bye.